Have you ever been left alone to loop the killer for 3 minutes straight? Well, fear no more, because I'm gonna make you the best looper using these two characters and two broken looping spots. Okay, now before you choose guest or shedletsky, I'm gonna tell you stuff to make you know which one suits you better. Okay, so if you're confident on dodging projectiles like mass infection or John Doe spikes and have amazing movement, choose shedletsky. If you're the opposite, then choose guest. The difference between these two kits and why they're so OP for looping is because first, shedletsky. His first move is the sword slash, and that's a close range stun. Now you might think it's nothing special, and you're correct. But this move gives shedletsky a secret move, and that's his pure aura. What this is simply by turning around with a bloxical line hand, you can make the killer stop or sidestep because they're aware that you have a close range stun and get a bit scared when getting close, therefore wasting some time. But the effectiveness of this will lower as time goes on, so in the end you still need to rely on slash. Now on to guest. He is pretty simple. His kit is block and charge. The block is important to use when the killer closes up on you and are desperate to land a hit, which essentially gives you a free hit. You can also use it to negate range attacks because of the resistance it gives. Now for charge, you can use it when block is on cooldown or you're too afraid to use it. Guest can also unlock the aura if you land a block, but it won't be as effective as shedletsky's because the punch is not as fast as the slash. Now before I'm gonna tell you the best choice out of the two characters for each killer, I'm gonna explain the looping spots. The first one is this fence in Ultimate Assassin Grounds. Now why this is special is because of the gaps here. If you go to the right, you can't see, and the same goes for the other side. So the only way you can see is through the middle. And if you can capitalize out of this and play your mind games, then you won't run out of stamina. The next spot is in Horror Hotel, this area. At first there's nothing really special except that you can go to multiple directions, but there's actually a life-saving shelf where you can hide next to. If you've looped around the full area and have some distance with the killer by using a slash or a charge, you can immediately hide there and they won't know a thing. And if you use a skin that blends in, it will be even better. Trust me, this will even throw off killers with many days of playtime. But that's not the only thing special about this specific looping spot. You see this brick right here? It's extended a little more than most of the wall. So if you hug the wall while avoiding the brick, the killer will try to be precise and end up hitting this brick, which enlarges the distance between you and the killer. But that's not all. Using the side walls in the closet to the side of this room, you can use it as another hiding spot, but also requires you to have some distance from the killer. Moving on to the killers, first let's start with Jason. The better choice here is guest, but shedletsky is not far off. The reason for this is that because Jason is the fastest killer, there will be a lot of times where he's gonna be close to you. And when he's closing the gap, he might try to behead you since it disables your abilities. Now this is where the block comes in. You can actually react block to the behead and punch right after because Jason is slowed. Now for charge, you can just use it whenever you can to tank a hit. For shedletsky, with him you're gonna do the same thing as guest by react blocking the behead but using slash instead. This will result in you trading hits, but it's fine because you will have the damage resistance. Also remember that you have the most aura out of everyone in this game, so make sure to use it. Moving on to 1x, you can loop him anywhere where he doesn't have constant vision of you, for example is this place. Now for the characters, they're on the same level here, but shedletsky will be way easier, because you can literally stun 1x if he uses any move point blank. So there's no need to worry for close entanglement, but if 1x uses it, you can trade hits and you will be able to finish the minigame before he gets unstunned. Now for guest, he's still good but needs way more skill, because the thing that his block is good for is react blocking his M1. Now it will be very risky because 1x has entanglement and mass infection, so if you wanna try it, it's best to do it after 1x just used it or you're just that guy. Now block can also be used to keep yourself safe from massive infection because of the resistance it gives. But if you can react block consistently without getting baited, you will dominate as guest. Now for John Doe, the best spot to loop is this one I explained before, but anywhere that isn't too small works just fine or you will be dealing with his trail. Now for the characters, the best choice here is guest, but shedletsky comes very close. This is because react blocking on John Doe M1 is very consistent. You will become unkillable if you can react block while running because 99% of the time the John Doe won't turn around. And you can also block spikes, which is amazing. for shedletsky, you can stun Jondo when he uses any skill because of the startup time. But other than that, you just have to keep looping. You also need to remember that Jondo will try to block the looping spot, so you need to be smart to either stall off the spikes or tank it. Last is Cool Kid. Any spot to loop him is fine as long as it's not too open or you're gonna be getting hit by the walk speed override. Now the character that's best for this is shedletsky because he can trade hits if Cool Kid uses point blank corrupt nature, and he can also stun after getting hit by walk speed override or if Cool Kid misses it. Don't forget that you can heal if he misses walk speed override or uses the minions. Now for guess, it's gonna be very hard because it's all about your prediction skills. And if you miss just one block, you're pretty much dead because of how brain dead Cool Kid is. So because of this, I highly recommend you use shedletsky unless you're the best guest and can block Cool Kid consistently. If so, tell me in the comments. Now enough with this yapping, let's get to the montage.